What's going on, everybody? It's me, Kate Winchester here. ASMR. Don't mind my messy ass hair. I just got up from a nap. So, today I was going to be doing a book review, but real quick, I wanted to say that I am really, really sorry that it was taking forever to film a video. I was busy moving for personal reasons. Maybe I can tell you the story in ASMR. Please let me know, because there's some tea. Like, there's some tea. It's tea. So if you want to hear the tea, please let me know, and I will do an ASMR of me telling you the tea. Well, I'll even drink some tea and make it look like I don't know. Okay, anyways, so we are doing a book review. So basically, I'm going to be doing a review on all of the books I have, telling you what they're about, maybe like giving you a summary, you know. So the first book I wanted to show you The Opportunity by Joel Eckerman, illustrated by Ania Tomika. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. So, it's by Joel Eckerman, illustrated by Ania Tomika. This is what the summary says. A boy in a tree looked out to the sea. So begins this lyrical tale of a boy waiting for his ship to come in, a famed ship with golden sails called the Opportunity. When the ship arrives, the boy rushes to meet it, but uncertainty slows him, doubt stops him, and fear turns him around. A poignant and powerful parable, masterfully written and beautifully illustrated, The Opportunity will captivate and inspire dreamers of all ages, leave you pondering, and stay with you for the rest of your life. Basically, the boat is a metaphor for your opportunity, and the boy waiting in the tree is a metaphor for you waiting for your dream to come true. Now, in the book, he has an opportunity to get down from the tree and go to the ship, but he gets scared and he gets nervous, so he runs around. So he ends up missing the ship, he ends up missing the opportunity, and now he is an old man in the tree, because waiting for the opportunity to come back, but it won't, because it's basically telling you to go achieve your dreams while you still can. And I got this book from my grandmother right before I went to Job Corps. Next book is called A Little Princess. And it's basically about a little girl. Her father was a rich man from India, and he had to go to a very dangerous mission in India, and he took her to this home for little girls and promised her that he would come back for her. And she was treated like a princess, and she was basically the prized pupil, basically. So when her father dies, her life gets changed a lot by the really mean runner of the... Okay, so basically the mean operator of this little girl home, her name is Miss Minchin, and she is really quite mean. Like, she hits them, calls them mean names, and so now the whole entire book is basically her with a wild imagination being mistreated and basically inspiring me, and just like, okay, well, she treats me like this, but I'm not gonna let it bother me. Here's how. Sorry, I have dogs. They're not gonna be quiet, so. Okay, this next one is called Distant Shores by Kristen. Here's what it says on the back. Elizabeth and Jackson Shore married young, raised 2 daughters, and weathered the storms of youth as they built a family. From a distance, their lives look perfect, but after the girls leave home, Jack and Elizabeth quietly drift apart. When Jack accepts a wonderful new job, Elizabeth puts her own needs aside to follow him across the country. Then tragedy turns Elizabeth's world upside down. In the aftermath, she finds herself questioning her life, her choices, her marriage, and her long-forgotten dreams. In a daring move that will shock her husband, friends, and daughters, she chose to let go of the woman she has become and reach out for the woman she wants to be. So this book will bring you to tears. I am already on chapter 7, and already it has brought me to tears because it has reminded me of what I want my marriage to be and what I don't want my marriage to become, and how I feel like she resonates with what I think, like what goes on in my mind when I'm depressed with my fiance. And I'm like when I'm depressed, how I think about my fiance, how I think about my future marriage, and sometimes those thoughts aren't so nice, and I feel like I'm not alone, basically. I mean, it's fiction, but obviously a lot of women feel this way, and I'm so glad that I'm not alone, and it's not going to be a fairy tale all the time of, oh my god, I love him, oh my god, I love him, oh my god, we're so in love, oh my god. There's going to be days where you look at him and get sick to your stomach because of just maybe you're in a bad mood, maybe you guys had a fight the day before, you know, it's just gonna happen. But as long as you work through your issues, you guys should be fine. But the most important thing is to remember that you still love him, and like why you guys love each other, and what your lives would be like without each other. It's like, you know, it's like I'm mad at you, but I still love you kind of thing. And like, you have to have that mentality. But the point is, I love this book because it reminds me of not being alone when I feel these things. Okay. The next book is called Fart Powder. I got this from my 10-year-old my 10-year-old brother for my birthday. I don't know what their problems are. I'm really sorry if you're trying to relax. But anyway, this is about, so far I'm on chapter 7. Trying to find a summary. Does it not have one? Okay. I guess I'm just gonna have to use my own words to describe this book. Basically, there's 2 little kids, Nilly and his friend Lisa, and they are trying to figure out why weird things have been going on. And, you know, like, why is there a letter missing from the school banner? Why is there, you know, like, why are people talking about missing socks being normal? And why does my sister all of a sudden have a speech impediment? Things like that. And it's very interesting. I thought I wouldn't like it because of the title, and I was just like, oh, thanks, when I opened it, but I gave it a try, and it did kind of make me laugh. But it basically takes place in New Jersey, so sometimes they have an accent, and it's fun to try to read in the accent. But if you have elementary school kids or middle school kids, maybe even some high school kids, I think it'd be perfect for them. But I just read it because it's interesting. And this was by Nesbo Lowry. The next book is actually very helpful for me because it was helpful for me as a teenager, and it's also helpful for me now that I'm going to become a mom. promise you won't freak out. My grandmother got me this to help me understand my mom. A teenager tells her mother about the truth about boys, body piercing, and other touchy topics, and mom responds. So basically you could see the teen's point of view about like why they do these things and what it means to them when their parents do this. And the mom responds of like, the reason why I do this is because how I feel about this topic is, you know, like for example, I'm gonna go ahead and read an excerpt from this. This is Doris A. Fuller and Natalie Fuller with Greg Fuller, by the way. It's a whole family. Like the mom would write something out, the daughter would respond, and then the mom would respond, and it's like a whole conversation between them talking to us, and I like it. Let me see. See, we have all about secrets, friendships, and friends and accomplices, lying and stealing, school, appearance, obsessions by the kilowatt, the other sex, period, alcohol and other drugs, partying, consequences, ratting and special challenges, and then the conclusion, letting go. So there's one I want to read. So like it has like a little introduction from the mom, and then you turn the page, still the introduction, and then it goes right into Natalie's speech, and then you turn the page, and then mom responds to what she said but in her own point of view. And I personally feel like I can kind of agree with Natalie as the teenager, but then I can also agree with the mom and just being like, yeah, that's a good point. But Natalie also makes good points too, because I just recently got out of being a teenager. I just turned 20, and she feels exactly how I felt as a teenager. And then since I am becoming a mom, I realize what I would want for my kids, how I would want to teach my kids something, how I would deal with a situation with my kids. And I read what she said, and I'm just like, you know what, that's helpful. I might try that, you know? One of my favorite books, my fiance actually picked this out when we were dating, and he actually gave me Distant Shores too. He knows what kind of books I like, and he just handed it to me. He said, here, I bought this for you. And it makes me laugh. It's funny. It's called There's Cake in My Future. And it's from Kim Gruenfelder. After listening to her friend's latest travails in love, parenting and careers, superstitious bride-to-be Nick believes she has a perfect recipe for everyone's happiness. A bridal shower cake pull, in which each ribbon silver charm planted in the cake will bring its recipient the magical assistance she needs to change her destiny. Mel, still ringless after dating the same man for 6 years, should get the engagement ring charm. The red hot chili pepper would be perfect for Seema, who is in love with her best male friend Scott, but can't seem to make their relationship more than platonic. Sorry, somebody drove by and somebody wants to pretend like they're a big man on campus. I'm really not annoyed at the dogs. I love the dogs so much. It's just I'm trying to make a video for you guys and they're being so loud. And I'm like... Okay, anyways. And recently laid off journalist Nick wants the shovel, which symbolizes hard work, to help her get her career back on track. Nick does everything she can to control who gets which silver keepsake, as well as the future it represents. But when the charmed cake is mysteriously shifted from the place settings Nick arranged it around it, no one gets the charm she chose for them. And when the other party guests' fortunes begin coming true, Mel, Seema, and Nick can't help but wonder, is the cake trying to tell them something? And I think it's awesome because it goes from, see, like if you look, see there's Melissa's point of view, Seema's point of view, Nicole's point of view, aka Nick. You know, my middle name is Nicole, only it's with a Y, not an I. It's Nycole. Yeah. So basically it's 1, Seema, 2, Melissa, 3, Nicole. Something like that. Like, it's like each chapter is how they're feeling about what's going on in their lives, and a lot of this makes me laugh. It is hilarious. I definitely would recommend this. 10 out of 10, no cap, honestly. This is one that I've had for a while, like since I was a child. Tinkerbell, 2 Magical Tales. The first one is The Trouble with Tink. And in this chapter, and in this story, she loses her hammer. And for those that know Tinkerbell, she is a tinker fairy, which basically means she uses her hammer to fix things. So when she loses her lucky hammer, she can't fix things the way she used to, and everybody's thinking she lost her talent, so they don't want her to fix things anymore. Like, she would ask to fix something and they'd be like, I'm gonna go ask the other tinker fairy. And it would make her feel bad because, you know, like, that's her talent. Like, but they would just be like, nah, we're good, like, which was obviously very, very hurtful to her. So she decides to go to Neverland and get Peter Pan to give her hammer back, and he gives her the hammer back, and she's able to fix things the way she used to, and it's like a happy ever after. And then in the next one is Tink North of Neverland, and this one is where, hang on, she has to go on another adventure. I'm only on chapter 2 of this one, and I completely forgot what the other one is about, honestly. But basically what happens so far is she finds a compass, and Terrence, her best friend, rolls it in her house, and he breaks a bowl, and she yells at Terrence and tells him to get out of her way, like he's always in her way. And it obviously hurts his feelings, and he leaves. And now she has to fix the bowl, and something else happens, and she has to go on another adventure, and I'm excited to figure out what that is. But this one was written by Random House Children's Books. It doesn't say the exact author, but I think they all kind of came together and wrote it. I don't know. This is another one that I've had since childhood, and if you had a wonderful childhood, you would recognize this book. Where the Sidewalk Ends. It's basically just a collection of poems that Shel Silverstein himself has written, whether that be all throughout his career or from when he was a kid. And if you want, every video I could go ahead and sit down and read a poem to you. I will be right back. So that concludes my book review, and if you want a teacher roleplay where I read you these books, or like I could do one each video and then just be like, you know, we'll finish one and then I'll do the other one, and like it'll be like a teacher roleplay series, please let me know, because I thought about that and I got excited. I love you guys. I'll see you all in the next video. Stay body positive. Kate Winchester out. Hasta la bye bye. Have sweet dreams.